The DNA model. Mr. Dwight Warnke will present information about the DNA model that has been erected and permanently installed at the Rolla High School. The model is an 8-foot model of the strand of DNA. Many students and community members worked on this project, and I think we have a presentation.
I'd like to thank you very much for allowing me to present the DNA model to you. It's been a pleasure working with the students at the high school, at RTI, with wide diversity of communities, individuals around the community to make this all come together. When we start this, Chloe Meyer happened to interview me after school one day to kind of highlight toward what the students' involvement was. So if you advance it just one slide there, and then the next slide there, and then go ahead. Oop, it skipped it. The DNA project started in 2012, and I was I wanted to create a DNA model that was very accurate that I could use in my classroom, but also wanted to be an attractive piece for the school as a whole. And so brewery science, core brewery science grant came available, and I wrote a grant for $2,000 that I thought would cover it, and at least I had the funding to get things started. And so I had, and what I wanted was something that was, when people walk into our school, we have a lot with sports, we have a wonderful sports program, but I also wanted the public to be aware that we had a lot of things of academic focus. And I do a lot in my classes, my biology 2 and cell biology classes, with DNA, where the students, by the time they get to cell biology, they're extracting their own DNA and taking a look at dimorphic and polymorphic alleles. We take a look at genetically modified plants and organisms, and so we do a lot with DNA. And so I wanted something to highlight the academic focus that my students do. So we started this project, and I had 2 students over at RTI and do a AutoCAD program of how to put it, to build the components of it, the basic design of it. And from that point, I also started working with John Tyler over at S&T. He did the water jetting and also could do a little bit more upscale version of AutoCAD because we realized it took a lot more math. And so I had people from the community, from Peacock Glass to Miller Glass, in one areas of it, to a number of different organizations, Cobaco doing TIG welding. So it was a community process of using a lot of people from the community, but also our own students who's involved in the production of it. So we build so that it shows A with T, C with G for showing the rungs of the ladder, and the sides of the ladder are made of sugar phosphates, and they're anti-parallel, and the sign out there will tell you a little bit more about it, but it's all active. So we had students involved over the next 3 years, involved with picking out what we wanted to represent, which is oxytocin, which is a mammal hormone that causes attraction between 2 individuals. It also causes the contraction during delivery. It also causes the letdown for lactation for milk production for an infant. And so that's the hormone that we chose to use for it to model after. And so we had students, some were involved with making the stained glass, some were involved with sanding the notches, and it all came together after, by this year, 4 years later, as a final product. And our idea was to be a showcase, and it's kind of dedicated toward the science and the math students at Rolla High School. And that's who it's dedicated to, kind of highlight the academic focus and achievements that we have of our students. We want this DNA model to represent kind of going from the ground up. And since we're from Missouri, I thought it was really important to use resources from Missouri. And so the Missouri red granite that you see out there actually comes from near Graniteville, down in southeast Missouri. And so, but they don't process the stone here in Missouri anymore. So that stone, we went through Phelps County Monument, and they donated the cost of the cutting and the transport themselves. All we had to do was pay for the stone. So that was their donation to this project. The stone was cut here in Missouri, shipped all the way down to Georgia, where they cut and polished it the right dimensions that we wanted, and shipped it back up here. And And so it kind of showing DNA from the ground up, literally from the ground up, of Missouri red granite base, and that's what kind of base is underneath it. What I also like about the project is that students from biology class can go out there and they actually can take a look at the color pattern of the stained glass. And so we have the 4 different colors for A, T, C, and G, A with P, C with G. And they go from the top down, going from 5' to 3'. They'll find out that there's a start sequence, a sequence of 27 more base pairs, which codes for 9 amino acids. And then finally you have the stop sequence. And so besides just being a model, it actually codes for a functional protein, as we talked about earlier, being oxytocin.
I'd like to thank Chloe for putting all that together. She did a beautiful job. And so again, the videos you saw there really highlights what the students have done, but I want to talk also about our community, because it's really a group effort. And so again, talents from with our own school, joint effort, really a true joint effort with S&T, in particular with John Tyler over the Rock Mechanic facility, a lot of local businesses. And so these next few slides here kind of highlight that right there. And again, John Tyler over at S&T, but the Rock Mechanic facility was just very gracious to us as far as from using the water jet, but also using from the lays to all the different facilities that was there. So here is an image of John doing the water jetting. He had just cut out as far as all the rungs. We decided to make the edges more rounded because during the process we realized we probably didn't want the students hanging on to it. Or my first idea was for students to touch and move and manipulate it, and so have smooth edges. But then we realized with the since it is a coil, it will bounce up and down, which may not be a good idea. So this whole thing changed over time. From the far left, we had cut everything else initially out of plywood and cutting it to have the right dimensions and see if it matches up right, to have enough. It's extremely accurate on our scale. Regular DNA is 2 nanometers, but 3.4 nanometers for complete rotation. Ours is 1 nanometer equals 20 centimeters, and it is right on the money. Really? So whenever you look at the whole thing, is literally to the millimeter, as far as the spacing and everything in scale. And so as we go through this, we had to, there's no template for anything. So we had to, determine the size of the glass, the size of the lead came to go around it, how it's going to be inserted. So everything was a trial and error method or process. There's a lot of sanding. Up until 3 months ago, all I had was a palm sander. So there's literally hundreds of hours to get everything from raw stainless steel to up to 2,000 plus grit. And here, John Tyler had fabricated all of the connection pieces, so I have exactly the right spacing at the right angle and the right spiral. And once he had created that, then we had our students actually TIG welding help put everything in position so that Jim Brown at Covico could go ahead and start TIG welding pieces together. Again, lots of details, so every single angle is at 36 degrees, and it's a step lap cut that helps support it in its weight for the helix. Taking these long stainless steel rods on the outside support and doing that so they are tapped and drilled for the outside support, connecting the top and bottom plate together. We use diamond core bits to drill through into the red granite to secure the bottom plate to the base. Here is Jim Brown spending many nights with us, TIG welding the different components together. And then pulling it all together, the Raleigh Public School maintenance staff and Miller Glass staff all working together, assembling it at the high school. And again, here we have a couple of pictures of a couple of different classes of them contributing after it's been put up. Again, I'd like to thank you very much for allowing this project to occur.
Is it Mr. Tyler back here?
And this is John Tyler right here in the back, if you wouldn't mind.
Warnke, we have something for you too. So Dr. Pritchett would like to.
Well, I don't know if this is a prize for him or not, so maybe by the look on his face it is, but I'm here on behalf of the science department. As you see there in the picture, to the right of the model is a small placard that outlines the details of the project, so that when we have visitors that come in or students, they can read about it. The department wanted to make sure that Dwight got his due recognition, and so they, and I think unbeknownst to him, put together a placard that I'd like to present tonight on behalf of the department that will hang right there with it. The placard has a quote, kind of a comment that Dwight has made about it. It has some pictures, and then it also has a little bit of a bio of Dwight and the time that he spent here. Most telling is he spent 31 years teaching in science. So I would just like to give that to him.
Jim, get a picture.
Good picture.
Yeah, go up there. Up there in the
That's
middle.
really. Did you ever envision it being like this when you the finished product?
No.
No.
They kept getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Dwight, what was your initial estimate on how long you thought the project would take?
I thought it would take about a year, year and a half. But what really got us snagged is that I went through 4 different companies in 3 different states who was not able to fabricate the spiral. We
okay.
want a solid 1 by 3 inch hollow core, either brass or copper, and no one could.
No one would do
could
that.
do it.
Could do
Well, they
that.
could for 28,000.
28,000.
And you and John are still friends?
Yes,
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it up close yet, have you?
Look at it.
It's impressive.
Mhm.
Learn something. There and have some experience.
So, yeah.